I'm sure you've been seeing it, hearing about it. You probably know people who've gotten into it and you thought they were fanatics or something, but they were right. Whoever it was, they were right. So you need to get on their good side because I'm gonna read this. This is a press release from today. Texas Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Bill named a priority scheduled for hearing. Today, Senate Bill 21, a legislative proposal to diversify the state's asset portfolio through the formation of a strategic Bitcoin reserve, is scheduled for a public hearing before the Senate Committee on Business and Commerce on Tuesday, February 18th. Now that's big. So Tuesday, February 18th, they will be voting on whether or not Texas will be one of the first states to have a Bitcoin reserve. That's big. That's big. At the end of the day, I'm buying $100 a day this whole month. I took some money out of a investment that I had that set for 10 years and didn't do nothing. And like I say, that same investment would have been over $1 million. So that kind of woke me up. We all come to it at a different time. So something is going to wake you up. If I'm not waking you up every day, showing up, spending my time, my hard-earned money, I'm crazy, but I'm not that crazy. And I do have things that I could be doing. But if I would have had somebody that I trusted and took serious enough, I probably would have bought Bitcoin 10 years ago. I didn't have nobody. So I'm that somebody for you and my peers. So let me make this disclaimer. This is not financial advice. These are my opinions. Take it with a grain of salt until you do your research. I'm about to buy Bitcoin at $100 today. This is day 13, so that'll be 1,300. I'd invested. And Larry Fink, he is over BlackRock. BlackRock manages over $11 trillion. They're the ones that's buying all the houses. They buying all the real estate, and they also buying Bitcoin. And yeah, I'm gonna show you where Larry Fink, he said basically, look, in all of the investment cycles, they buying Bitcoin, even with the real estate, they still buying Bitcoin. So they don't plan on stopping. And Bitcoin is an asset that if once Texas makes it a reserve, most other states will probably follow suit. And at the end of the day, it's gonna shoot through the roof. So Bitcoin will be $700,000 to $1 million, for one. And you can buy a fraction of it right now. That's what I'm doing every day. I'm buying fractions. So today I'm gonna buy $100 worth. That's only a fraction of one. Take heed, man. Take heed. If you on Facebook and you watching, like I say, I appreciate it. I'm not only so Ted, what did you say, Ted? Oh, you see 18 states have a bill trying to make crypto part of their reserves. Michigan and Wisconsin already allow it. 40 billion in supposed state investment. 40 billion. Yeah. It's crazy, man. Like, yeah, we already got one here in Michigan, but we don't have it as a strategic reserve yet. So I think you can go down and pay taxes and stuff like that. But I guess that would be a reserve if they're investing in it. I guess that would be a reserve, man. Look, this is one of the biggest wealth transfers of our generation, along with, I'm gonna say, the internet. But I guess the internet. Oh, you say Market Watch has an article? Okay, I'm gonna definitely look at it. But the internet was like our first one of our generation. So if you in your 40s, 50s, the internet was our. If we would have got on board with the internet when it first came out and put something on the internet, that man, you'll be filthy rich. Bitcoin is our next wealth transfer. This is where the small guy can invest as little as $1,000, and in 10, 20 years, it'd be well over $5 million. You know, that doesn't happen but a couple times in your lifetime. So yeah, Tez, XRP. Yeah, I actually got XRP too, and Cardano, and you know, is I try not to give too much advice. I try to stick to Bitcoin on this one because um, Bitcoin is one I can kind of vouch for long term. I know XRP, they it has utility, so I think Ripple uses that technology for something. You know, and my show is really not a financial show, but it is business and entrepreneurship. So I touch on it. But you say it's expecting to double this year. Yeah, it'll be 200 and some thousand by the end of the year. You know, and if you pay attention to the cycle, so in 2021, I think we just talked about this, Tez. In 2021, let me see, what was Bitcoin in 2021? So just look, 4 years ago. Somebody probably could have pulled this up before I could. Oh, so it was February, no, March 1st, it was 40,000. So that's what, 3 years, you know. So in 3 years, it doubled. So with the halving, which is let me pull up what the halving is. The Bitcoin halving. I'm gonna explain this real quick for people so you can see why it's going up. Oh yeah, Solana too, man. The halving explained. I need to put it in layman terms because, oh yeah, explain for dummies. Yeah, I'll take it. Okay, so the halving is called the Bitcoin halving. The Bitcoin halving is a programmed event that cuts the amount of mining rewards in half each time 2,100, no, 210,000 blocks have been mined. Okay, which occurs approximately every 4 years. So the reason, let me see, the reason Bitcoin doubles like it does every 4 years, or quadruples, whatever it does, is because of the reward for mining it cuts in half. So I think right now the last halving was 2024, last year. That's why it took a big jump. One of the reasons it took a big jump, and you know, they have a lot of information about this. I'm not going to try to do this in a few minutes, but do your research on it. Look at the halving, see what the halving, why it affects the price. So 2028, another 4 years, Bitcoin will be $1 million for one. That's just my, that's and that would really be a conservative number. Because as these states start taking it on as a strategic reserve, the scarcity is going to go up. So it's going to be a supply and demand thing. I talked to this guy, and he said that his high school, when he graduated from high school, they gave everybody Bitcoin, 10 Bitcoin. He said none of his friends knew where it was back today when he talked to him. Nobody. So 10 Bitcoin was $1 million. So they gave all these high school students Bitcoin, and nobody knows where it is because I think it came on like a flash drive back then, and they just thought it was junk. You know what I'm saying? And then you think about the guy who bought the two pizzas. He's the famous guy who got online, and he had 10,000. He had more than 10,000, but he got online and he said, I'll give anybody 10,000 Bitcoin if they'll buy me two pizzas, because it had no utility at the time. You couldn't spend it. So he was literally like one of the first people to actually use it in commerce. And that was a big deal, but it took 10,000 Bitcoin. So just think, what's 10,000 times 100? You know what I'm saying? That's how much he spent for 2 pizzas. They called them the most expensive pizzas ever purchased. So, you know, and that, Bitcoin started in 2000. It was introduced in 2008, into 2008, early 2009. They say Halloween 2009, I think, or 2008, I don't know. But back then, you had to be an early adopter back then. Just think about what you were doing in 2009. I mean, the what you call it had just the housing crisis had just hit. Um, you know, all the banks had to be bailed out. I think that was around the banking crisis. But you to hold on to Bitcoin back then, it was like, that was unheard of. It was unheard of. So for those people, they deserve to be billionaires now because they were like I am right now. They were believers back when believing wasn't popular. I'm talking Bitcoin every day this month for 28 days in honor of um, Black History Month and a bunch of money that I missed by not paying attention. So yeah, man. So I'm gonna do this. I'm doing this every day. This day 13. This will be I'm about to invest $100 in Bitcoin. Say you got some Bitcoin, Daryl, but not enough. Yeah, I think everybody feels like they don't have enough, especially if you're conscious of it and what it is. You don't have enough because this is something I tell people. Like I said yesterday, you never sell it. Tell my daughter, you never sell it. This is forever. You use it for collateral, kind of like you take a house and you take a loan out on it, and you get the cash, but you keep the house, and the tenant pays the rent. Whatever if you collateralize your Bitcoin, you take the money out, put it into some type of business, and ultimately the profits you make on the business, you're gonna put back into Bitcoin because that's where the majority of my assets gonna go to Bitcoin. Everything else is losing value because of inflation. If you think about it, that's why we paying so much for goods because our dollar is weak. So now it takes so many dollars to buy a loaf of bread because it's weak, because they made so many. You think about back in during the pandemic. Remember, they just pushed all that money into the market. What's up, Jay? You all right? I know you invest. I think you were one of the first people to tell me about you were option trading back then. Well, not back then, but you were talking about option trading. And I think E said something about that the other day. Who was that? No, Dave said something because he got into options a little bit after you talked to him about it. So that's what's up. But it's time to get some Bitcoin again, Jay. If y'all don't have any, get you some Bitcoin. They said at some point, oh yeah, that's what's up. At some point, $250 worth of Bitcoin is going to be worth over $1 million. That's all you need. If you that's why I'm dollar cost averaging. Like I said, Kamiko Butler, a friend of mine, she bought her first Bitcoin 2 days ago. And then I showed her these articles, the Texas article, and she bought again today. So if I can give y'all a nudge to just stick with it, don't sell, but keep buying, and then eventually get you one of these, a hardware wallet. Because when this month is over, I'm taking all my Bitcoin off this exchange. Because you got to think, if these companies go bankrupt, if Cash App goes bankrupt, if Coinbase, any of these exchanges, they go bankrupt or they get hacked, your stuff is gone. So you want to take it off the internet and put it into a cold storage wallet. You can get these online, but get it directly from the manufacturer. Don't get it from Amazon or none of that. They even had cases of people buying them from the manufacturer, tearing them out the plastic, taking the seed phrase out, which is the phrase where your money is connected to, your Bitcoin or your crypto is connected to, taking that phrase out, repackaging it, putting the plastic back on it, selling it on Amazon. And as soon as you load your money on, they can just pull it right off. There's nothing you can do about it. So do not buy this on Amazon or any third party. Buy it directly from Treasure. This is a Ledger. I bought it directly from them. So yeah, make sure you do that. Don't get it from no third party. What's up, Terrence? Jamie said PI is a new digital currency developed by Stanford PhDs with over 55 million members worldwide. To claim your PI, follow this link. Okay. I'm gonna look into it. You know, I'm bullish on Bitcoin, and I kind of gamble and hustle with the other, even XRP. I bought XRP, I bought Cardano, I bought it's another one called Capicoin that I had somebody tell me about because the ICO, which is the initial coin offering, was coming up. So that's when you really want to catch it. And up to it, bro. Over here doing God's work, bro. Trying to get us to get to build that legacy with some of that Bitcoin. I don't know if you got any, man, but look into it. Get you some. You know, it can't hurt. You got to think of the money we blew on fifths, and we blew so much money. The least we could do is blow some money on our future. You know, I'm saying 20. That's why I'm dollar cost averaging. What, $25 a week? That's $100 a month. You know, that's good right there. That's $1,200 a year. I mean, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna look into this PI, Jamie. And I don't know if y'all saw Rick Ross and I think Moneybag Yo. They created a coin. Everybody's doing it. I think the Hawk 2 girl, she created one and then did a pump and dump on it. So her name is kind of in the trash. Why we put so much in celebrities, I don't know. I'm guilty of it too. Cause you know, I was an R. Kelly fan and I'm like, bruh, how y'all gonna lock up? But putting too much in these celebrities. But yeah, but look what she was a celebrity for. She ain't had no talent. She just, anyway. But yeah, so she just did a pump and dump, which is where you go in and because you got a name, a bunch of people starts to support it, throw money in it like Trump just did, and then you pull the rug out from under them and take all your money out and it drops, and now you stuck holding it. You know what I'm saying? Like some of us probably bought Dogecoin, but once you got in there late, all the value was sucked out already. You know what I'm saying? If you bought Doge, if you bought Shiba Inu, you know, they all the value got sucked out of that. And I still have a Doge and I think some Shiba Inu. I got in late. Bitcoin is going to keep going up. As the supply gets shorter, it's going to keep rising. It's going to keep going. And I used to look for the utility, and I used to say, I'll support it if it has utility, if you can use it in day-to-day commerce. But that does not equate to what the value is, because you could use it every day and the technology costs them so much to operate it until there's no profit. So at the end of the day, it's still no value. You know, if it costs you $1.25 to build something, and you know, and to operate it is more than whatever profits, it's no good. You know what I'm saying? So you got to know the bottom line on it and what the margins are before you can say whether it's valuable or not. you know. So I'm not gonna be on here acting like I'm a financial guru or nothing, because I'm not. I'm just here literally to pull your coat. Yep. And you said they're getting rid of the penny. I heard about that. So Trump is getting rid of the penny because, yeah, exactly. I knew about that. So Trump is getting rid of the penny because it costs more to make a penny than a penny. So it's no value. Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, you're right, Daryl. Good looking on that. Good looking. Yeah, because it costs more to make a penny than a penny is worth. So, you know, so yeah, you got to get rid of it. But yeah, so I'm not gonna keep y'all too long. I'm about to buy $100 worth of Bitcoin, and I'm gonna do it right here, right now. So y'all know I am not capping. I don't even pay attention to what the price is. That's why I'm dollar cost averaging, because sometimes I catch it low, sometimes I catch it high. I could have took the entire investment that I'm putting in over the month. I could have took it and just dumped it in. Now let's just say I would have dumped it in and it was 95,000. But over the month, it drops down to 93. So some days I might catch it at 93, some days I might catch it at 98. Let me see. Okay, I did that wrong. Yeah, so that's why dollar cost averaging is so valuable. So yeah, see, it's 96. I think yesterday I bought it at 97, I think. So today I got it for cheaper. That's what dollar cost averaging is all about. It's to continue consistent investing over a period of time. It's the same thing that your 401k is doing, all your mutual funds. That's all they're doing. They invest in a set amount over a long period of time, catching the highs and lows. And then 30 years from now, they'll tell you this is what you got to retire on. That's something we can do ourselves, though. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're doing here. We investing in our own self without the fees. I am getting fees because I'm doing it on Cash App. So if you are doing it, they say that Swan Bitcoin, we can do it on Swan Bitcoin. And they don't charge fees up to $10,000. There's no fees. I haven't looked into it. So if somebody look into it, let me know. One of my mentors, I call him my correspondent, he uses it. He uses it. So, but I wonder if you get $9,999 worth and then you start to buy it and you try to pull it out, are they going to charge the fees if you take it off of their platform? You see what I'm saying? Because otherwise they don't make money. So I don't know. I'm going to look into it. But yeah, so I'm buying $100 right now, y'all. Yep, there we go. So, and then the exchange rate when you do it on these, see, they raise the price up to account for the exchange rate. Because see, my fees are $2.25. So I'm only getting, so my total Bitcoin purchase is $97.75. So when I look at the exchange rate, like I said, it was 96,000 today at this rate, at this period in time, but they raised it up probably about $600 in order to account for their fee. So, I mean, it is what it is. That's how your fund managers make money in your 401k. They're making money at all times. So, every transaction they make a fee. That's why those Wall Street dudes walk around in the big Armani suits and all that. It's off those fees. But okay, I'm buying. Okay, boom. You see that? Can y'all see? Can y'all see? That's how much Bitcoin I just bought. So, and those numbers are called Satoshis. All those zeros and zeros. So 0.00100557 Satoshis is what I bought. So, yep, that's another 100. And we're doing this all month. I appreciate the support. I appreciate y'all showing up, liking, sharing.